Not gonna lie, Mike's not terrible looking. Those are my thoughts. Welcome to Ranger Reviews, a web series where we look at episodes of the TV show Power Rangers and then discuss them. Today we're exploring the 29th episode of the show Power Rangers Lost Galaxy, as well as the 322nd episode overall, titled The Chameliac Warrior. We begin this episode in a field where Mike is back on the show again, going for a run. He stops and stretches a bit, and he hears Villamax nearby. He runs away, sneaking through the forest. He sees Villamax commanding a bunch of Stingwingers to move a ton of big materials through the forest. He says that Kegler's plans are all coming along nicely. Mike looks up to see a lot of Stingwingers, and Kegler falls over, dropping the world's tiniest CD, which Mike sees. The baddies move out, and Mike jumps over the bush like an idiot, grabbing the tiny CD. I wonder if it'll show him that one time Corone got kidnapped. Then a monster shows up, yelling at him, and Mike is like, whatever. And he morphs, going after the guy with his blaster, firing at Stingwingers. Then the monster, clearly the Chameliac Warrior, has a black spot on his head, and he has a Magna Blaster of his own. He shoots at Mike, and the others run in, helping Mike. Leo just automatically know that this guy's name is Chameliac. Okay. Mike is okay, and he explains that Villamax is up to something, and this teeny tiny CD might help them figure it out. Later on the Astro ship, Mike explains how Chameliac knew all of his moves and how it was so hard because he was so good. I mean, did we see two different fights there? Alpha says the disc was badly damaged during the fight, and the Rangers say they need to figure this all out. Mike wants to help, but he's too hurt. They leave, and Mike notes that the disc really did get fried. Yeah. On the Scorpion Singer, Turkina says good job to Chameliac, but he needs to do it for all five. He says he'll begin analysis, and he starts watching Ranger Archive / Sentai footage, and his face changes colors depending on whose moves and powers he's learning, with a convenient progress bar in place too. He really does spend like a solid 3 minutes doing this though. They must have really run short in filming. He's complete and ready. Meanwhile, the unmorphed Rangers are tracking down some Stingwingers moving parts through the forest. We see that Kegler is directing them how to put together what appears to be a giant laser. Villamax then sees a couple Stingwingers slacking, so he yells at them. A Stingwinger comes up, telling Villamax that the Rangers are on the way, and Kegler says that they're not ready, so they're sending Chameliac to handle it. And yes, this is a giant laser confirmed. Chameliac shows up in front of the Rangers, and Leo wants to know why he's there. Like he's gonna just say it. Chameliac calls out Stingwingers, and it's time to go galactic. The morphed Rangers start fighting off the Stingwingers, and it's a nice little fight. Chameliac then goes red, and he has a Quasar Saber of his own. He fights Leo, who does his special fire move Slash, but Chameliac can block it, hitting him back. He then does his own version of the attack, hitting Leo down. Damon comes in and Chameliac goes green. They use the Tran daggers against each other and Damon's down. Maya goes in and he goes yellow, and he makes quick work of her. Then Kendrix is scuffing up the ground and she's hit back by pink Chameliac. Also Kai gets blown up by Chameliac blue. You get it. Chameliac talks about how awesome he is, so the Rangers call out the Lights of Orion, getting their armor on. Then Chameliac goes gold, also having the power of the lights, and when they use their power-up mode attack, he just kicks them back. He then uses his own power-up mode, blowing the shit out of them. Damn. They roll down the hill, and Chameliac calls them Powerless Rangers. Nice. In the forest, the Rangers are unmorphed, injured, and they say it seems like he knew what they were thinking. Okay, that's not true. Damon says they have to try again, but Kai says that without a strategy, there's really no chance. Kai says that he has 0 errors, but Leo says that even computers can make mistakes if you give them the wrong information. He tells the others to follow him. On the megaship, Mike is out of bed and he somehow retrieves some data from the disk. Way to suck it, Alpha. They find out that it's a laser gun they're building. Also, the Rangers are running through the forest and they see the laser gun. Congrats on kinda doing nothing, Mike. Chameliac shows up behind them and then they're ambushed by Stingwingers. It's time to go galactic once more. The Rangers start fighting off the Stingwingers, and Maya's running on trees and stuff. Meanwhile, Leo goes after Chameliac, who goes red. Leo says he can win, and then he does Damon's pose. He then just fights like Damon, hitting him back. Maya then shows up, and he goes yellow, but Maya acts like Kai, hitting him back. Damon shows up, and he goes green. I mean, is he not getting this? Damon fights like Kendrix, and then Kai acts like yellow, but then Kendrix acts like red, and it completely confuses him. He gets hit back. Leo says time for something 100% red. Red Astro Cycle, which is when he turns into the capsular cycle, driving forward into fireball mode and blowing Chameliac up and aside. Alright, that was super lame dialogue. The Rangers celebrate and Villamax is watching this, telling Chameliac that he needs to grow. He does indeed grow giant to no one's surprise, so the Rangers call it the Galactabeast. Mike sees online that the laser gun is in position to fire the Galactabeast. Well, now this makes more sense. He runs away. Villamax and Cruz are getting things lined up as the giant Galactabeast run forward, and just as he's about to hit the button, the Magna Defender shows up, kicking Villamax back. He then fires on all the Stingwingers before he blows up the giant laser. Dude, I'm pretty sure you actually could have just used one of the lasers from the Astro Megaship. The others form the Galaxy Megazord, and Chameliac is pissed that the Galactic Beasts are still around. He goes into Megazord mode because apparently he studied that too, and the Rangers call it the Stratoforce Megazord, and then we get an instrumental Ron Wasserman tune. I don't remember it ever being in this season. Stratoforce comes in, and Chameliac also knows its moves, but Stratoforce uses Centaurus' moves, which ends up tricking him. The Rangers power up the Galaxy Megazord with the lights of Orion, using the saber to slash him to death. Ta-da! Later, Mike and Leo are going for a run together in the same place where Mike was earlier. They stop and stretch in the same field, and then they hear something. They look up to see the Lion Galactic Beast, like he could just sneak up on them. Leo thinks he's saying thank you, and they smile at the Lion Galactic Beast. The end. Okay, this episode isn't terrible, but it isn't good either. I mean, it just has way too many layers, I think. The entire laser thing was completely pointless and was an added thing that didn't really add anything to the episode, you know? If this was more about how they fight him, but he has powers, so they have to train each other to learn their moves, that could have been a cool character-driven episode. But instead, somehow Mike saved the day, but like he was barely in the episode. I don't know. Again, it's not terrible, except for those solid 3 minutes Chameliac took to learn the Rangers' moves. Like, that was just plain awful. Next time, we start an infamous two-parter in the Power Ranger history. So buckle up for that. But until then, may the power protect you.